regular Park and Rec meeting. Today is August 5th, and I'm calling it to order. What's that? Okay. All right. Attendance will be taken of the commissioners that are here. In the room right now are Mary Ellen, Glenn, myself, and Don Bugby. How about out there? Hello, Missy, I heard you, I think.
Oh, no.
Brett? Huh? Missy? Brendan? One again?
I'm here.
Okay, good. Brendan's out there in telephone land. How about Missy? I thought I heard you. Yes? No? Okay, well at least we have 4 commissioners, so we have a quorum. Brendan, thanks for checking in. Okay,
Hey, Bob, just so you know, I got shut out twice. They told me that they couldn't process my request twice, so maybe Miss is having the same problem.
Oh, okay. Because this is about the 3rd or 4th time I had to enter, because this machine is very finicky. Okay, so hopefully Missy joins us. Okay. The first item after attendance of the commissioners is to approve the previous meeting minutes. Everyone has read them. That was for the July meeting. I believe it was July 1st. Okay, does anybody want to make any comments or additions or subtractions? Hearing none. Okay, would somebody like to make a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the July 1st minutes.
Okay, somebody second. Okay, Mary Ellen, you second. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? No? Okay, well, it's passed then, and we move on. Next, Don, update on PRC programs.
Okay. Starting off with programs and staff, over the course of the summer I had a staff of 41 people under my direction. At the day camp we had a supervisor, assistant supervisor, 16 counselors, 11 volunteer counselors in training. We have 5 lifeguards, we have 5 regular parking attendants, and those shifts are supplemented by day camp counselors evenings and weekends. And we had 2 nurses working shifts at our day camp. Day camp was held June 28th through July 5th for 5 weeks this year. There was 130 kids enrolled. The camp was held at the high school, middle school gym areas. We had a very good camp overall. It was very good to be back this year for sure. Thanks goes out to our staff who did a great job, supervised by Katie Battolino and Amy Casella. All the counselors did a great job, as did the 11 counselors in training. The 2 nurses did a great job as well, and they certainly were a great addition to the camp. Thanks go out to the District 18 superintendent, the facilities director, and the high school, middle school principals for the use of their facilities. District 18 adjusted some of their planned work on the facilities to accommodate our camp as best as they could, which was very helpful. All the equipment has been inventoried, removed from the camp, stored away at Townwoods Park, and the needed new items for next year have already been ordered and are starting to come in already. Soccer camps that we had 2. We had our July 12th through 16th camp at Townwoods Park, and we're currently having one there now, August 2nd through the 6th, ends tomorrow. Our fall programs, first I'll go with fall soccer, youth soccer. It's open for kids age 3 up to grade 5. It's a fairly large program overall, a couple hundred kids will be in it. We usually group the kids in this manner, pre-K, which is ages 3 and 4, grade 1, grade K, grades 2 and 3 are combined usually, and grades 4 and 5 are combined usually. But that's all dependent on the sign-ups and our available coaches. Last year we didn't have it because of the COVID stuff, but in 2019 we had 22 teams up there. They were grouped a little bit differently. Pre-K kids were by themselves. There was 8 of those teams. Kindergarten teams, there was 4. We grouped grades 1 and 2 kids together for 6 teams, and grades 3 through 5 kids were grouped together for 4 teams. Again, the grouping of the teams is solely dependent on the sign-ups and the ages that we have and the teams that we can make. Registration is now open. I've been starting to receive some applications. It was open Tuesday, August 3rd, and it's going through Friday, September 3rd. We have a tentative coaches meeting scheduled for Saturday, September 11th, where we'll make up all the teams and discuss the situation going forward. And the tentative schedule will be on Saturdays, starting September 18th through October 30th. That'll be 7 weeks, which is about what we normally do. Once we get into November, the weather is kind of suspect and not very cooperative. O-Line and Lime residents will sign up through O-Line Parks and Rec this year. I'm helping them out because the Line Parks and Rec is undergoing some changes with both the commission and the director. So to make things easier, I'm taking it all on this year. Adult basketball is anticipated to start early September on Wednesday evenings again, and on Sunday mornings, usually in the October range that starts, and that usually runs through the entire school year. Yoga classes are expected to start back up again in the fall as well, but obviously both of these indoor programs will be dependent on the COVID situation once again. I haven't had too much conversation with District 18 yet to know what they're all about, so that's going to be to be determined. And all of our fall program information has been updated on the Parks and Rec website and on Facebook. Going over to facilities, Townwoods Park. Townwoods Park fields are in great shape overall. The grass grew very well this summer, and it continues to grow. We're doing more mowing up there than we ever have.
It's raining a lot.
Line Parks and Rec had their soccer camp up there in June, end of June. The Food Share Garden Project, work is continuing on site. They're making some planting areas and beds and mulching areas and stuff like that, so they're being very active up there still, preparing for next year. The high school summer soccer games that the commission allowed them to play this year have gone well. The boys played 3 home games up there, they're all finished, and the girls have played 2, with the remaining one being on August 12th. There has been minimal impact on the field, so that's all worked out well.
Did they have practices besides?
No,
just the games. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Townwoods Park building is still scheduled to be power washed and sealed. All the doors and trim will be repainted, and the broken windows will be replaced. The facilities director is handling that scheduling. On Wednesday, July 28th, with a routine water test, the water tested positive once again for coliform. The building was closed that day. The system was treated, and the flushing process was started. Water was retested, and the building reopened with a satisfactory test result on Saturday, July 31st. This problem has happened to us 2 years in a row, and for the second month in a row. So I discussed this with the facilities director, the water company representative, and the finance director. It was determined that a UV system should be installed to alleviate the continuing problem, and the cost is expected to be in the $6,000 range to put that system in. So all the powers to be are working on making that happen. White sand.
Excuse me, Don. And talking to the finance director, where's that money going to come from? The one that the Board of Finance already approved for other projects versus not the UV light? Would that come from somewhere else, or would it come from?
I don't know where it's coming from exactly yet.
Okay, because that's quite a
substantial, no doubt.
Yeah, it's substantial. Yeah. Okay.
It's in a range where they don't have to have a town meeting or anything, but
Right.
it's still substantial.
Okay.
So they're figuring that out.
Okay.
Down at White Sand Beach, parking lot attendants are scheduled through the first week of September. Then I'm already starting to lose staff to colleges and stuff. Lifeguards I have been scheduled through August 25th. The beach and the bathrooms are still being cleaned daily. Trash and recycling is moved daily by Public Works. The overhead and foot shower is scheduled to be replaced early next week with a new push-button unit to fix that long-standing problem. And the bike rack was put together and delivered down there today. Cross Lane Park, Little League fields were being used quite a bit this summer. Public Works did a nice general cleanup, trimming of the park. I was anticipating contacting the tree warden to discuss the trimming and removing of 2 trees in the playground area. That hasn't happened yet, so I will update you when that happens. Haynes Park. Haynes Park was very active all summer with rowing programs. Parks and Rec staff is working there daily until towards the end of August. The 800-gallon water storage system that was installed when we redid the bathrooms has been working very well at this point. We've had no water-related problems as we did in the past. And the bathrooms are being cleaned daily. And that's it for that part.
Anybody, any comments or questions, Commissioners? Yeah, sounds very good. And the day camp is over now, and there was nobody getting sick or anything like that. It was very good. Very good.
Nothing reported.
That was always the back of everyone's mind.
Yeah.
Oh, that was very good.
We were separated and we cohorted a lot and stuff like that.
Well, once again, thank you for you working with Ian, the superintendent of the schools, because he provided lots of indoor space to separate people when you had to go inside, and really was very helpful in putting that together with you in almost record time this year because of the evolving situation with COVID. That back in, when was it, March or something like that, it was still a problem, or February or March when we had a meeting, and then all of a sudden things changed very quickly for the positive, and I hope everyone will get this shot to prevent this Delta variant, because there's going to be more problems if they don't. But go ahead. I think that's good. Anybody else?
Don, the children didn't have to wear masks or anything if they can't.
Indoors we did.
They had to wear masks.
Yeah, the school, the state had a regulation in the beginning of the summer that any school building you had to wear a mask indoors until July 21st. And then a couple days before July 21st, I got a message from Ian, District Advisor, that he extended the use of masks inside all school buildings for the remainder of the summer, because summer school classes are going on as well. And then recently, last week or something, we got another email saying that the state had extended the mask wearing to at least September 30th. Indoors. We did not have to wear masks outside.
Okay. Anybody else on that? No? Well, Brendan, you still out there?
No, I'm still here.
Oh.
If I would have one thing to add, both my boys went to the camp and they had a great time, as they do all the time. So Don, thanks again for the effort for making it work. The kids had an awesome time. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. All right, good. All right, next we go to the old business, the status of the agreement for the path for the 176 Boston Post Road LLC group to the town docks in Haynes Park. We, at the request of the LLC and ourselves, we had one last review of the insurance requirement for the LLC to use Haynes Park property to get to the docks. I just received that this morning and communicated to Greg Hack that looks good. They're only going to be required to have one insurance certificate for the LLC. I didn't have a chance to thoroughly review it because we have an out-of-state company with us right now, but I told him I'd get back to him with that final version by tomorrow. There are just minor tweaks to it, and but basically that was the big thing. Do they just need one certificate of insurance. Both Mr. Griswold and I thought that's all they should have needed, but there was some confusion on that.
So they needed none.
Huh?
Well, how many did they need?
Just one, just like the soccer club has one certificate of insurance, or anybody that uses any of our parks has to prove that they are insured, so the town, they're insured for liability, so the town is not going to be responsible for any
So
untoward.
you're gonna change the version and get it back to them? How does this?
No, it's just Tim and I are going to go over it, and because we're the ones doing it now, because and I will get it back to him by tomorrow, and then I think everyone's going to be happy, and we'll finally be able to sign this thing. Yeah, let's hope so. Okay, that's the update on that. We did a few things down at Haynes Park. The most significant one was the addition of 9 or how many spaces? 9 or 10 spaces?
At least 10.
At least 10 spaces that I have to say, Ed Adante and Public Works did a wonderful job. It looks good. They did a very good job. They did it in relatively short period of time, and we all, I know the Director of Facilities and Don, you forwarded something to thank them all for the nice job they did.
Yeah,
right?
it's a pretty good, substantial improvement to the park.
Yeah, and it looks like it's able to handle the rowing crowds that show up for the various programs. So far, it seems to be working out very well. Huh? Hello? Brendan? Oh, is that Tim? Hello?
I'm still here.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So that turned out very well. We met, Don, myself, and Phil met with Mike Swaney, who's handles security cameras out at Townwoods Park, to talk about installing security cameras not only in the new restroom, because as everyone knows, after the first 3 days it opened, the new restroom was vandalized. So we're going to install some security cameras once we get the plan and the estimates, because we're also going to, apparently when the boathouse was built, they never put security cameras on that either. So we're going to put some security cameras there also, because there's a whole lot of expensive books inside that thing. And so we're waiting to find out what that estimate's going to be, and then we will be moving on with security cameras hopefully as soon as Phil Parchik, the Director of Facilities, gets back. He's gone for another week, and hopefully we'll, in the next month or so, get going on that.
Who did you meet with down there? Did you say Bill Swain?
Excuse me?
Who was the gentleman you met with down there?
There's Phil, myself, Don, and Mike Swaney,
Mike
who has handled and in fact updated the security cameras at Townwoods Park. They recently updated, right, Don, for the internet to get a much better picture or something like that.
I don't know too much about that, so that's more like in Phil's.
Well, Phil, yeah. But anyway, the upgrades were also taking place at Townwoods Park, because I guess, it was 15 years ago, some of the technology wasn't as good as it is today. So that's also being done. Okay, the last one is the installation of a 4-foot fence. Half the park is already fenced in all along Townwoods Road and also along Route 1. So we plan to fence in the second half of the park. Both the Director of Facilities and the Park and Rec Commission has requested this because of not only vandalism, but also numbers of people driving over grass there. In the spring, there are an incredible amount of tire ruts all over the place. People are also parking cars and boats and trailers on park property. So we're going to install a fence, and the fence will have access to the right-of-way that's already being used as a driveway for the people that live in those houses right by the lake, and also 176 Lost Post Road uses it. Now, I want to let everyone know that there's a couple right-of-ways there. In fact, there's a right-of-way from 1936 that has access to the park. These will be honored. These will not be fenced in. And also, there's several easements that have been established, and they will also be honored so that they will have access. Anyone who would need access to where the easements are will have it. And this will be checked by I'll talk to Tim about it, but the plan is to submit. We don't have the plan yet. The Director of Facilities has to work with the 2016 survey by BSC company and to come up with the plan for the fence. And once we come up with the plan for the fence, we intend to talk to the neighbors in the area, and we want everyone to know that we will have access from that part, and that we'll talk to anybody that has to be talked to about that. And once we have a concrete plan and we can show everyone where it is. I know, Tom, you're one of the...
That's why we're...
Yeah.
Obviously, and I appreciate that, just for this discussion and access. We've talked.
Yeah, I know, and apparently too, there's a lot of misinformation, as always, being passed around on the internet and by others that do not tell the true story about it.
I have not seen any of that, so I
don't see it.
I don't go looking for trouble.
I don't see it.
I don't go looking for trouble, so I haven't seen any of that. I just want to have something that's, fair to everybody that's there,
Yes.
and not just fair to the rowers. Okay.
Oh, of course. No.
Because I mean they've taken over the park, and I understand that they deserve some space there also. But I just want to make sure that that our cottage is there. We've been there for forever.
Right. And I think it's really...
We've never caused any problems to anybody.
Yeah. No, I think it's really important that all people realize that that park is shared, and that park is for Old Line residents only. Right. And that Don, myself, and the commissioner are doing our best to try and limit the amount of takeover of Haynes Park by the Rowing Association. Now, they've been very cooperative. They've been very cooperative, and things seem to be getting better, because the whole idea when that boathouse and everything was established and we fixed up the boathouse was that all the rowing activities would take place on that side of the park, and that the picnic areas, the beach, the swimming areas, the playground areas, that they didn't have permission to use, or access. So we're trying our best.
I appreciate your efforts for somebody who's been on the lake since our property goes back, my family, to 1950. Yeah. And for the rowing people to say, well, the property that we're using is just a mud hole. It has only been a mud hole since they've been there. That used to be prime swimming area over there. Yeah. And all of a sudden, the swimming area has gotten very small. It's only appropriate now for small kids, which is wonderful. That's what I use it for. Right. But over where they park their motorized boats, there was a dock with a diving area. I mean, so it seems like their area has come over so far, and it's just such a small area for the swimmers that it's hard to sit back and watch them take the place over.
And a long-range plan that the Park and Rec put in a master plan back in 2015. We're not doing it now, but we're going to look in the next couple of years at the feasibility of being able to dredge that area to try and return some of the swim area to make a bigger swim area. But that's not in the budget at this time.
I understand.
And that's a huge project.
I understand you don't have a large budget. too. So
Yeah.
Can
So,
I ask one more question?
yeah,
Are there any plans to do anything about the geese over there?
about the geese.
About the geese? Are there, I mean, that's all topic, I know that.
There used to be a person with a dog that went there to get rid of the geese, and apparently go ahead.
We previously had a person who had a dog, or dogs that chased him away.
Right.
Previous administration stopped that. There's money in my budget to start it up again, but personally, I think it needs some discussion because I don't think it's very effective. All they do is chase them into the water. As soon as they leave, they come back. And
When they were there, I mean, they got rid of the geese for several years. When there was a woman that came down with her kayak and they went out and chased them around.
Oh, yeah.
The park has been closed for a couple of days now because of the geese.
The geese poop.
well, nobody says why the water is tested.
Well, we know.
Yeah,
We know why.
right. But they used to. The part of the goose control thing was also addling eggs in the springtime, and the last person won't do that.
Okay.
So it kind of,
Yeah. So it's
recently it's been a waste of money, in my opinion. And
It's a different, but I mean, you go over there too, and the whole beach area is full of goose drop.
Right.
And I'm not criticizing you guys for.
No, I know.
And I don't mean that in any way. It's just they're difficult to deal with.
Any big, like Townwoods Park, a lot of them, hundreds of land out there, okay? It's really,
we have them at Townwoods Park. We have a few at Cross Lane Park occasionally. The golf course has them. Last week they were all over the school grounds. They're everywhere.
it's very hard to control. But Don will be looking at it. I think they tried to put some things that emitted some sound that people couldn't hear. That didn't work.
Lights. There were
Yeah,
lights. And that didn't work.
That didn't work.
Public Works removed them. That didn't work.
Yeah. So,
All right. So in other words, you don't have a final decision on the path of the fence at this point, but it's in the works.
yes, and we will, as I said, we will share that with all the people that live right around there too. And you will have access.
At least has my email. I know that. So.
Yeah, we'll have access, and all the right-of-ways and easements will be honored.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. Anyone else? I'm done on that. Anybody have commissioners that have any comments? No. Okay. Hearing none, we're going on to new business. The Karak Regatta at Haynes Park, Maureen Plumley. Don and I, you want to review? Don and I met with Maureen on a regatta was scheduled for this Saturday, and we knew nothing about it until a little bit after the fact. Don, you want to add anything on that?
No, we didn't know it wasn't completed. We didn't know anything about it. We wouldn't know that it involved Haynes Park.
Right.
I would say that.
If it just involved the lake and the boat launch, that's fine. But anything that involves park property, the ordinance says that we are the one. I'll read it to you. We are responsible for the management, control, and development of the town's recreational facilities and expenditures made in connection therewith. So, anything that involves a park, Don Buckley will be the first to be contacted for any type of event that would take place. And so, anyway, we met with Maureen. We had a very nice discussion, and we invited her back tonight, so to talk about what you plan or what you would like to do. Or Maureen, I give it to you to speak up.
Okay, I'm ready. Well, the regatta was scheduled.
If you want to sit up here, you're a little closer, so
Yeah.
pick you up. Yeah.
I'm not sure everybody knows what we're talking about, but I have a couple of photographs. The regatta would have been held Saturday of this week with the approval of both DEEP and Rogers Lake Authority. And then I found out about the approval that Park and Rec needed too. So in the discussion, of course, that's been postponed or hopefully postponed and not canceled. And what I'd like to do is have it in October.
Put a particular date in October?
16th, I'm looking at the 16th. It's a Saturday.
And do you have anything else to add? I mean, you're going to use, because at one point you were going to use the boat launch, and that was it. You weren't going to use Haynes Park, but then...
Oh, I've always been going to use Haynes Park, because people need a place to set down. You know.
Can I ask you, outside of the old line rowing, the Rogers Lake Authority and the DEEP, why did you decide to use Haynes Park for this regatta?
It's a great place. Great place to bring the boats. Easy to launch the boats, and.
But you just did it on your own. You weren't invited or anything, or somebody suggested.
Oh, I live there. I know it's nice. I know that it's usable and.
Yeah, because I've looked up your rowing association or Karak New London Club or whatever that you formed in 2008, and I noted that you've had regattas and practices or whatever in New London at the Waterfront Park or something, Custom House Park, Fort Trumbull. In fact, you even have one tremendous picture where there's a cruise ship in the background, where you guys were having a race or something like that. So, what made you decide to leave these venues, because it's a New London club, to come to Old Lyme?
Well, I'm hoping to make it a Connecticut club, not just an Old Lyme club. I mean, a New London club. And it's a wonderful place. I have the boat right now on the lake, and I've been training new rowers, and it's just wonderful to be there.
So you have
Karak.
Yeah, on Rogers Lake. Do you have lakefront property?
No, but I have a friend who has lakefront property.
Okay.
So I keep it there. And, it's delightful. Good place to be, and a good place to have, to bring people. And, everybody agrees that it's a wonderful venue. Just to show you the picture of what we're talking about
I
here.
did look on your website, so. I did
Okay.
look at your website.
Okay.
And I think it said you have how many members? 50 to 50?
We have a dozen right now.
Oh, I thought it said 50 or 60.
So,
Okay.
But if you had one of these, you were planning on at least 40 to 50 people that would attend?
yeah, I'm not going to do that size though in October. So it'll probably be half of that.
Okay.
So where were they going to, when you assumed you were going to have it this Saturday, where were you thinking they were all going to park?
Where was I thinking?
Where were they going to park?
At the boat launch.
The boat launch on Grassy Hill?
And they would row the boats over to the park.
Okay.
But you're going to launch them from the boat launch and then go to the park?
They're just going to row over, and then we would start the race at Haynes Park.
Okay, but is there parking involved at Haynes Park? Because I know Don and I both expressed the feeling that certainly in the summertime on a Saturday, to have a big event like this, people use...
Right, but we've left that behind. We're looking at October, middle of
So
October.
where would visitors, people, maybe your families come to watch, or where would they be wanting to park?
They'd have to park at Haynes Park.
Okay, that would be the thing that we'd be concerned about. That would be the problem.
Well, it's Haynes Park's going to be, let me ask you another question. Is the boathouse going to be used at all for this?
No.
You don't use the boathouse facility at all, okay? Now, I also saw that on the internet that a rowing session was scheduled for Rogers Lake on July 30th of this year. Did you have it?
No, but I've been working individually with new rowers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but from your friend's house and okay. So, or of course, if you launch a boat at the state boat launch, anybody can launch boats there too. I in the state. I guess, do you have to have a certificate or something to do that, Don? I don't, you just have to have a registered vote or something.
Registered vote as far as I know.
Never seen anybody have a certificate to
Yeah,
bring a
you
vote
have
in.
to have a registered vote or something.
I used to have a.
Well, you could put a kayak or something like
Yeah,
that.
kayak doesn't have to be registered, yeah, but these are 25-foot long boats, about.
Mhm.
Anybody have any comments to make?
Well, I guess our biggest concern would be the parking, correct?
I'm having trouble hearing you with
The
it.
biggest concern would be the parking. They're all, because most of them
It's not a parade. Doesn't attract a lot of spectators.
But I mean, like, I can't, without a permit, I can't go down and park, and I live here.
But this is going to be October.
Well, still, I mean, yeah, so we're not checking. I mean, what would be anything that we would find?
No, because
concerning?
basically the checkers for the parking passes that residents need and members of the Old Line Rowers Association need is only checked during the summer season when Don has checkers down there.
So what would any concerns that anyone would have with it? And what would be, I mean, bathrooms or cleanup or?
Yeah, I mean, certainly October is better than having it in the summertime when a lot of people use the park. So,
But I mean, I'm just trying to think of anything that we would have to be concerned about. Safety, do we have to hire a police? Is there anything that would cost?
well, they would need a certificate of insurance for liability, which everyone needs to use any of the parts.
And I have that.
Yeah, and
And I have chase boats, safety boats. So we'll provide our own.
Now, would that, I assume if my recording back up. If, I don't know, Don, do you have any concerns about what?
I think just with half the people that you previously talked about, that helps. The parking would be a concern. Maureen, just so I'm clear, you're going to launch the boats at the state landing and then just row over and start a race somewhere over that way.
Right.
Versus when you talked to Bob and I, you were going to launch them at Haynes Park.
Well, we would have had more boats, and that would be the beginning and the end of the race. So they would make a loop and come back.
Gotcha.
yeah, and I also, you stated to us that you wanted this to be the first yearly event at Haynes Park. Now, my question is, what happened to your places in New London? Why wouldn't you have anything in New London anymore?
Basically because I'm the president now. And I live right there and I can walk.
Yeah, because just as I think we pointed out to you, that even with all the sports or whatever, we expect that when people bring people from other towns to play against the Old Line folks, that's reciprocated. And so to just have this every year, I have a real problem with that.
So why? Because the rowers, the soccer players, they do the same thing.
Well, because you're the New London chapter.
For now, I'm planning to get that name changed.
Yeah.
We are the only club that rows a Karak in Connecticut.
Brendan.
And there is reciprocation. There are 9 other clubs.
So when you row like this regatta, how many other clubs come to that?
Well, normally, like the ones that have just been held, there'd be 8 or 9 clubs. It's part of a North American group.
So how many? But you're saying there'll only be probably how many people coming?
I think this will be the wrap up for the season, and actually I think it's going to work out even better to have them come in October and do a
But
sort
how
of.
many? If you have like 8 or 9 clubs involved.
Yeah, they're not going to all be here in October.
Okay.
I expect the East Coast group, so that would be Boston, Albany, Annapolis, New London, possibly Philadelphia, but probably not.
How would you only have 20 people? Because these boats sometimes have at least 4 people, and you're going to have 5. Just the people that row would be at Haynes Park, or would there be spectators?
Well, she said
They bring a few family members. And in fact, it's going to be easier for them this year. They don't have to bring as much. They don't have to bring lunch. They can walk across the street. I've already told Ken Coffee that we'll have people over there buying lunch and coffee and snacks.
I think it's important to know how many people, because the park only can hold so many.
Yeah, I think it's really important rather than, can you nail down the concrete amount of people that would actually
Well, I'd say 20 to 25 people.
Total between rowers and people at the park.
Okay.
There's no reason not to have it this year. Let's worry about next year when next year comes.
That could be a consideration. Maybe we could try it out this year,
Yeah.
but certainly to be an annual event here, I don't know why it would have to be here when you have all the time when you have these other venues. I mean, I can understand maybe rotating every once in a while, but it's when you have other venues.
This is my first season as president.
How long are you president?
I'm sorry?
How long is your term?
2 years.
Okay, we'll worry about next year.
Oh, yeah, well.
And actually, I think it'll work out as an October event. It's different, and it'll bring these, at least the East Coast group here.
But definitely in October will be less people.
I mean, I don't think we do this Maureen is a resident. I don't think we
No,
do
we're
this.
not concerned with it. We're not economic council for Rhode Island or planning. We don't. Here, by the way, you're a non-profit, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
And I've got the insurance.
Yeah.
Is there there's no other expenses other than that we would incur because of this?
No,
And Maureen would be the
because
one.
the bathrooms are still open at that time.
Okay.
Do you know any idea what time October?
I'm looking at the 16th.
Yeah, okay, because usually the water's thrown up in the facilities at the very end of, depending on the weather, but the very end of October, early November.
Yeah.
So that should not be a problem.
And this event would be how long?
The afternoon, probably from 11 to 4, let's say.
11 to 4. Okay, because I noticed some of your other events were 12 to 5:30. But you're saying this one will only be 11 to 4?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to do a smaller scale event.
Huh?
That's about the same amount of time.
Well, one's 5.5 hours, one's
5.
5. But I'm just curious because with the schedule you showed us here, you sure that can all be done in that time period? I mean, you have
Well, as I
experience.
said, I'm going to do a smaller version of a full-scale regatta.
Yeah. Brendan, do you have any comments at all out there?
No, I mean, obviously, I think everybody's touched on this, better in October than in the summer, for sure. And I think the bigger question would be, as opposed to people, how many cars are entailed with that? I guess that you just wouldn't want the whole parking lot consumed by people who don't live in town if people in town want to use the park.
Right,
With that
but
said,
the cars and the
I don't know how many
vehicles
people
will
use
be
the
at
park.
the
I'm never
state
down
road
there at that time, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Not of the visitor, not of somebody coming to watch. They would drive to the park.
Yeah, well, the ones that
Would you want to
Maureen.
watch?
Well, if it was my family member, or I love the boat.
Well,
I was.
It sounds like, Maureen, you're planning a lot of the people that launch the boats, they're going to launch them from the boat launch, right?
Yeah.
Will be parking their cars there.
I plan to have I have a volunteer that's going to do a shuttle.
Yeah, okay. I'm just concerned. We also asked the question of Maureen, how many people are actually from Old Lyme that will be doing
I
this?
actually have new rowers now that I'm on the lake, and it's obvious. By the way, we are on People of Old Lyme Facebook. Video. We didn't take it, but a resident took it and posted it just because he thought it was interesting. And so let's see. I'd say about 6 to 8 people now are Old Lyme.
Okay.
So having it there, having it visible means that people are actually responding and trying it out, and they know where to reach me. And because the boat is here, I can do it easily. I don't have to set it up for a particular time. I can work with people individually.
Okay, because when we
You wanna
first
try it?
talked to you, you said
Right.
one person,
Come on
just
and
yourself.
try it.
Huh?
Want to come out and try it?
No, not at all. So, Brendan, do you have any more comments on this?
No more comments.
Yeah. I don't know, Park and Rec commissioners, since it is in October and there's less people coming than originally planned, do we want to give it a try and see how it goes with no guarantee that this is going to be yearly or whatever, even coming back?
There's no guarantees in life.
I think the biggest concern is the parking, and I think if Maureen, keeps that under control, and you promise that we're not going to have a bunch of cars parked down there, or people.
And they're pretty
And if you're,
quiet.
that was my biggest concern.
Yeah, because that was a big problem we had with the rowing team from the high school.
Well, my other concern was if you open up to, Maureen's an old line, she's president, but, being very careful to open it up to when there's no old line residents, because then you gotta say.
Yeah, no, the idea that clubs from other towns to come over here and have an event, I'm a little bit afraid to set a precedent.
I know.
That, because this is not really an old line club, and it's not a whole lot of old line people. And we run the risk of, well, you let them do it, so how about us?
I know you do.
Well, Brendan, what do you think about that? Brendan?
Say that again, Bob. I'm sorry.
I'm a little concerned too that this is a New London club that has venues that they have practices and events at, and have had events at. And I'm a little bit concerned about setting a precedent for this. Really doesn't have anything to do with Old Lyme other than Rogers Lake is a nice lake, and anybody can go on Rogers Lake and row through the boat launch. But to set a precedent of people who want to come down and use Haynes Park that really are from other communities. And we've kind of, we talked to the superintendent and all about when other schools are invited here without the knowledge of Park and Rec, that this is not something that's desirable, because people that have been on the lake at times when some of those regattas were happening complained a lot about what's this, who are these people, this so that to do it, would this be setting a bad precedent, you think? Brendan, being our legal person?
Well, if it's a one-off, and it's and anybody would have to come back at any point in time, I think the nuance is very important. If it sounds like it's not an overly burdensome activity that's going to be happening down there. Now, it sounds like that. I don't know. I also don't know what the traffic is like out in Rogers Lake in October.
Yeah, probably not as bad as it is in the summer, of course.
Yeah, right. Just as far as boat or personal watercraft traffic, whatever. So, if the Rogers Lake Authority, as far as what actually goes on in the water itself, I don't think that that's our jurisdiction. And if it's just a matter of, so if it's just a matter of the Haynes Park usage in the parking lot, I mean, it sounds like that would be somewhat under control, and the big burden would most likely be on the boat launch. Now, whether or not that's actually in practice, I don't know, but I'm willing to take her at her word for now, for sure.
Okay, because it sounds that this is definitely a scaled down event compared to the nuisance that the high school regattas used to have. Now they've hired people to direct traffic, direct people overflow the downtown Woods Park parking lot. They've come a long way since.
Parking at the firehouse.
And parking at the fire.
The buses.
Parking at the coffees.
That goes over well.
Buses.
This is not of that scale. So,
Well,
what do you
Maureen
think?
said 20 to 25 people, that includes rowers and spectators.
And they will all have their individual calls.
We don't all row at the same time.
Maureen, if we do give you permission for this is a one-shot deal. We see how it goes. I mean, because
See how it goes. That's the best any of us can do.
Because originally you said that you were hoping to have the second annual regatta there, and we have to see how it goes. And my concern about this too is if you have other venues and you're in New London that all your regattas should not take place in Old Line. They should.
Yeah, but I'm working on changing that.
Well, okay.
Working on changing this to that.
Like all of one.
Can I get, well, it could be a line, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, people, what better advertising for Old Lines rowing could you get than the Olympics? You know, I mean,
Well, I was very fortunate we had two Olympic guys, and I think the town was very proud of that. In fact, they even had Greg Hack and the other guys, Day here. They proclaimed the day. What was the other guy's name?
William Corrigan.
William Corrigan, Austin Hack.
Liam Corrigan.
Yeah, Liam.
Austin Hack.
And Austin Hack. Yeah, no, we're very proud of them.
But there's a culture there of rowing and water, and you know,
But
I don't think
Maureen,
it's,
I want you to recall what a person that lives on the lake by the park said, is that that was here, and he is very concerned about rowing taking over this park. So there's more concern than just the fact that rowers like doing it. There's the concern they share the park with other people in the area, and I will tell you, we've got numerous complaints from people that didn't want all this activity happening.
Too much rowing.
Yeah. I mean, so.
They infringe upon the area.
Yeah. It infringes upon. It's a small park, and it's for Old Lyme residents as well as the school with their rowing program and the Old Lyme Rowing Association. So I think that the people that live around them want to see other organizations joining in for use of this park, except on an occasional basis.
So, come on, do we need a motion for them to do it this October?
Well, I have a comment.
Yes.
I don't vote on the commission as we discussed, but in my opinion, I think the next step would be to fill out a facilities usage form, get it to me to make it the official request, and with just the understanding that, just like we did with summer soccer this year, we gave them permission to play games where we normally didn't, and this summer it worked out. And they all knew that going in, that this is like a test run type of thing.
Right.
However it works, we make adjustments, or anywhere from we got to tweak this, or no, we can't do this anymore, or anything in between. I think it's a good event. I think it's interesting. I think there's an interest in it. I don't think it's the way you're talking about now. It's not overwhelming like it seemed at first. I think those are all good things. And personally, I don't think it's a bad idea to give it a shot. But
And of course, you need to show a current certificate of insurance.
Yeah.
But then again, work with Don to make sure that everything is checked off as far as what's required from the town. Okay, somebody want to make a motion, please?
I'll make a motion for, what's the organization called? Regatta, at Haynes Park on the 16th.
October 16th, from 11 to 4.
11 to 4? Is that good enough? Do you need more?
11 to 4-ish.
11 to 4.
11 to 4, with the understanding that the boats will be launched at the state boat launch, and that some of the cars will be parked there as well as at Haynes Park for an event of approximately, what'd you say, Maureen, 20 to 25 people? Yeah, for an event with an expected attendance of 20 to 25 people.
20 to 25 people, including the rowers.
Right.
yes.
Yes. Can you want to read that one again?
I don't have to listen to the tape.
Oh, okay. Yes, but
Basically, that Glenn moved to give the New London, is it Karak, permission to hold a regatta on October 16th, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. With the understanding that the boats will be launched at the state boat launch with 20 to 25 people at the event, including the rowers.
right.
At Haynes Park.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So, anyone want to second that one?
I'll second it.
Okay. we said. Any more discussion on that? Okay.
I would just
What?
add that, Bob, I would just add that if for future reference,
Yes.
it wouldn't hurt if there were more old line kids involved, something like that. I'd just throw that out there.
Oh, yeah, that's what, yeah, well, Don and I were very concerned that there weren't more old line people involved, but Maureen assures us that there's going to be more than just one, you being you, person involved in this, that's going to be from old line. Okay, you hear that, Brendan?
I've been recruiting and
I
training.
did, very good.
Yeah, so there's some other old line people. Okay, any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Brendan, okay. And I'll say aye to have a majority of the quorum. Anyone opposed? No. Anyone abstain? No. Okay, that's done, and Maureen, please work very closely with Dawn. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Maureen.
Yes. Okay. Now, any other new business? We're going to talk a little bit about Bob with the line.
We can.
Yes.
Just an introduction. This is Bob.
Bob Pope.
Bob Cope.
Bob Cope. Bob's a Lyme resident, and he is. Thank you, Maureen. They're trying to. The Parks and Rec Commission up there is undergoing some major changes, and looks like Bob's the main guy up there, and maybe he can just elaborate a little bit. But
Since Jason and Kristen Thornton used to be Lyme residents and did the smart thing when their kids got older and they moved to Old Lyme so they don't have to drive back and forth from Lyme and Old Lyme multiple times a day like I do right now. We've had a couple people told my wife that. They're like, now's when you move to Old Lyme so you don't live all the way up in Had Lyme and have to drive to center school. But so I've been on the rec commission for the last, I think, 3 years now, but have been pretty inactive. So most activities were done through, Kristen took care of a lot of art classes and a lot of things through the library, and we tagged into some basketball and some soccer programs. So I am 100% new at this, but
So you actually serve as in Don's?
no, Town of Lyme Recreation.
But I mean, are you a director of what goes on to, or just the commission?
I am the chairman of the commission. We have up to six other positions, including myself, available on the commission, which we have all absent seats. So there is a paid director position, which I will be, it's not really a paid position, but it's a small amount of money paid towards a director. A director doesn't have to be on the commission. A director is appointed.
Like Don.
Yeah.
And you're also the director?
I am not. I decided to become the chairman and try to find a director.
So there is no director at this time?
There is no director at this time. So we have no director for the town of Lyme. We have one.
They have you.
We have me, and I am. The reason why I'm coming here is to sit in and learn from what you got going on, and pick Don's ear about all the activities and how he's been doing things, and what I can include the town of Lyme in with, meaning the soccer program coming up soon. I want to do whatever I need to do on my end to make sure that the Lyme residents can enjoy it, and do whatever Don asks of me to make sure I organize it or keep track of paperwork or whatever. So this year
that's why we met earlier a couple weeks ago. That's why we decided that it would be better this year to sign up all the kids from Lyme and Old Lyme through me, just to ease it a little bit for Bob until he gets going what's going on.
I think it's great. Bob can work with you, because that's one thing that's been deficient.
I feel the same thing. Yeah, it seems like there hasn't been much communication, and I want
Jason used to communicate a little bit, but not a whole lot. I think this would be great if you could communicate a lot with Don and learn everything that Don knows, and help him out a little bit as far as the programs go, because they're basically, even though they're two different towns, we work together on a lot of stuff.
I fully intend to do that. I know you need multiple assistants, and I can't fill that role, but I'm happy to But I do. That's the idea. I want to learn from what you have going on so I can include both towns. I'm on the board of directors at the Lyme Youth Service Bureau. I have a child at Lyme School going into 2nd grade and a child who's going to start preschool at Center School this next year. So I'm trying to be as involved as I can with all of it. So for me, I need to form a team of people for the Lyme Commission and create our own programs that are in line, so it's not taking any strain on Old Lyme, but reality is anybody who lives in Lyme with kids joins Old Lyme activities and goes to Little League and the playgrounds and uses basically all Old Lyme facilities. So I would like to try to incorporate some more activities in Lyme for residents and then do whatever work you need from me to take the Lyme weight off of you, because it shouldn't be on you. So that's the idea. You seem excited about that. You're like, yeah.
Very enthusiastic. I hope you can spread that.
I'm going to try to maintain it. I got
enthusiasm to people to volunteer.
I'm going to maintain that. So if anybody has any eager Lyme residents that want to show up at town hall with me and put in some work, you let me know.
Yeah. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
And I hope you're successful in getting people to volunteer, because as Don and I both told you, it seems harder and harder to get people to volunteer these days.
It's true.
They're always good with suggestions, they just don't want to do anything after that.
Yeah. So we're very happy to hear that you're on board with Lyme.
That's it. Absolutely.
And best of luck to you.
Thanks.
And thanks for showing up tonight. And just talk to Don. He knows how to do it. He's been doing. How many years you been doing it? Too many.
Yeah.
So you were an assistant before you became the director at one point, right? Yeah. You've been doing it a long time. And
And then we just have done no assistant.
Yeah.
You did such a good job, you have no assistant.
No, it's
See, we have ours then too.
right.
Anyway, okay. So Bob, thank you for attending and letting us know that you're on board in Lyme, and
I'll be around.
and you'll be working with Don, and he's the guy you have to work with on this. Okay. Any other new business? Hearing none. Motion to adjourn. Or public comment. Public comment. Is anybody in the public out there in telephone land? No, I don't hear anyone. Okay. So, hearing none. Public comment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. All opposed? None? Abstained? None? Okay, we're done. And thank you for everyone that showed up tonight.
7:05.
7:05. Okay, and let me end this phone call. All right, thank you, Brendan.